If your retirement number makes you anxious every time the market dips, that's not security. That's a cage. Think about it. You work for decades, you save carefully, and you keep repeating a number in your head. Maybe it's 1 million, maybe 1.5, maybe 2. Every headline, every chart, every interest rate decision makes you question if that number is enough. So you push the finish line further, again and again. That's not a plan. That's a prison of moving targets. Here's the truth. The number in your head doesn't know you. It doesn't know the life you want, the people you love, or the time you still have while your body is strong. $1 million is meaningless unless it buys you the mornings you've imagined, the trips you've dreamed, the freedom to say no without guilt. So instead of chasing a shadow, let's flip the script. Let's start with the life you actually want, then build a plan to fund it. Not someday, not in abstract digits, but in real days, real choices, real time you can live. That's the path we'll walk together today. And yes, on the passive path, we've touched this idea before, money as a bridge to time. But now we're going deeper. We're going to build the deck, lay each plank, and show how to cross. By the end, you'll see why chasing a number keeps you stuck and how a life-first plan frees you. The finish line is closer than you think. Let's reveal the trap that keeps it running away. The trap looks simple on the surface. You pick a number. Maybe it's 1 million. Maybe it's 1.5. It feels solid, a line in the sand. But markets wobble. Inflation whispers in the headlines. Tax rules shift. Suddenly that number feels too small, so you push it higher. Just a little more. Then another year. Then another cushion on top of that. The finish line keeps moving. You never cross it. Why does this happen? Because the world doesn't sit still. Prices rise. Markets drop. Health changes. Rules bend. None of that is in your control. So you grab the one lever that feels safe, a bigger number. The illusion is control. The reality is endless delay. There's a psychology at work here. Loss aversion makes the fear of running out stronger than the joy of having enough. Anchoring makes you tie your sense of safety to a single target, even when it shifts under you. That's why people with millions still whisper, "What if it's not enough?"
You've probably seen it. Someone with more saved than they'll ever spend still can't step away from work. They call it just one more year. That year turns into 5. Those 5 eat into the best years of health and freedom. Picture Eric, 58, who hit every milestone his advisor suggested. He checks the balance daily, still panicked that the next downturn will erase his future. His net worth is higher than 95% of the country, but he lies awake at night. The number didn't give him peace. It gave him a treadmill. The cost is real. Stress that bleeds into family dinners. Vacations that never happen because the next market cycle might hurt. The years when your knees still work, when your energy is still strong, traded for one more lap on the hamster wheel. If the number is not the map, what is? You start with the life you want, not the digits you fear. Replace the abstract target with something tangible, not a lump sum, but a picture of your days. What would you actually do with your time? Would you travel twice a year, keep 1 car instead of 2, spend mornings in the garden, afternoons volunteering, evenings with friends? When you list real activities, you can price them. A trip costs this. Membership in a hiking group costs that. Groceries, housing, insurance, those are predictable. Then you see the essentials and the nice-to-haves, side by side. This is where the spending smile appears. In the early years you're active, you spend more on travel, hobbies, family experiences. In the middle years it often dips. You settle into routines. Then later, healthcare may push it back up. Yet most calculators assume peak spending every single year. That inflates your need far beyond reality. Now take your predictable income streams, pensions, social security, rental income, subtract them from your annual lifestyle cost. The gap left is your portfolio income need. Your PIN, that's the real number that matters. Think about Lena. She dreamed of 2 modest trips each year, decided she no longer needed a second car, and joined a local hiking club instead of paying for faraway gyms. Her PIN dropped by tens of thousands compared to her guess. The life stayed rich. The cost fell. You can make this practical with habits. Once each quarter, do a 1-page life audit. List the activities you value most, price them, and total the essentials. Keep one discretionary dial, like travel, that you can adjust in tough markets without touching the core. When you know your PIN, the fog clears. It's not about chasing a shadow.
It's about funding the life you've already defined. You've sized the life. Next, protect the time you need to live it. Here are two clocks running in your life. One measures how long you live. The other measures how long you stay healthy enough to enjoy it. Lifespan is years alive. Healthspan is years able. The gap between them matters more than any extra money in the bank. Many people focus only on the first clock. They plan as if they'll have unlimited strength at 70, 80, 90. But the truth is different. Every extra year spent chasing a bigger balance risks cutting into the window when your body still says yes. Waiting can backfire. Working one more year may add a little more to your account, but it takes a year from the period when you could hike mountains, play tag with grandkids, or travel without limits. Picture someone who loved hiking. They delayed retirement for 5 years to add safety. By the time they stepped away, their knees couldn't handle the trails anymore. The money was there. The time to use it wasn't. Now think of a grandparent who chose Fridays off at 60. They gave up some income but gained weekly rituals with family. 10 years later, those Fridays are a treasure chest of memories. That's the trade at the heart of every decision. More digits or more days. One tool makes it real, the Now Bucket Calendar. List 12 experiences you want in the next 12 to 24 months. Not someday, not after markets calm, now. These events create urgency. Keep life first and stop the just one more year trap from swallowing your best time. You've set the destination and honored the window. Now it's time to build the engine that funds it with control. The strength of your plan isn't in how big the pile looks. It's in how you structure it and how you draw from it. Earning is one step. Keeping and using it wisely is the step that matters. Many people are surprised to learn that taxes, not market returns, can be the biggest factor in whether their money lasts. This is where structure takes over. Start with a cash buffer. Hold around 2 years of your portfolio income need in cash or near cash. This isn't about return, it's about resilience. When markets drop, this buffer lets you keep spending without panic selling. Next, think of your accounts as tools with different roles. A taxable brokerage account can act as a bridge in the early years, especially before age 59 and a half. A traditional retirement account is a reservoir for conversions. During lower income years, you can convert pieces into a Roth, which later gives you a tax-free bucket to draw from. That shift alone can save hundreds of thousands in lifetime taxes. Then comes timing. You want a sequence that reduces lifetime taxes and smooths income. Tap taxable first, especially when it allows you to keep income in a low bracket. Use conversions to fill up the middle brackets before Social Security starts. Delay Social Security if the plan supports it, because each year of delay raises your guaranteed income for life. Guardrails give flexibility. In years when markets fall, you spend slightly less. In years when markets soar, you spend a little more and refill the buffer. That rhythm stretches your portfolio and reduces fear. Think of Ava. She built a 2-year cash runway. She sold winners in good years and used lean tax years for Roth conversions. She didn't just save more money. She gained the ability to sleep without staring at market charts. That's what structure gives you. Confidence in the storm. Now let's see the engine running in the wild. Meet Mark and Susan, both 62. They've saved close to $1.5 million. On paper, it looks like enough. In reality, they're anxious. They don't know how to turn that pile into a paycheck they can trust. First, they separated essential costs from discretionary ones. Housing, food, insurance, medical premiums formed the core. Travel, hobbies, gifts, and extras went into the discretionary column. Their annual need after tax came to around $65,000. That was their true portfolio income need. Next, they created a buffer, 2 years of spending, parked safely in cash. That gave them breathing room no matter what the market did. Then they looked at their accounts. Their taxable brokerage account became the bridge for the first years. It gave them cash flow without triggering early retirement penalties. Their traditional retirement accounts turned into a reservoir for Roth conversions. Each year, they converted just enough to stay in a favorable tax bracket. Slowly, they built a growing Roth bucket that would be tax-free later. They chose to delay Social Security until full retirement age. That decision raised their guaranteed income base for the rest of their lives. The cash and brokerage bridge carried them until those benefits kicked in. The result? The dollars didn't change. What changed was the order, the timing, the roles of each account. Suddenly, the plan gave them clarity. Taxes shrank over their lifetime, Their anxiety eased. They felt freedom in their early go-go years, when energy and health were still high.
It was the same money, but with structure, it became a reliable engine instead of a fragile pile.
Now swap their names for yours. Here's how to build the blueprint step by step. Start by mapping the life you want. Write down 5 to 7 must-have experiences. Write down 5 to 7 nice-to-have ones. Price each of them. Put a range next to every item. Some will surprise you with how affordable they are. Others will show where the real trade-offs lie. Next, calculate your portfolio income need. Add up your total annual spending. Subtract your pensions, Social Security, or other predictable income streams. The gap that remains is your PIN. That's the number your portfolio has to cover. Not an abstract lump sum. A clear yearly need, then set your buffers. Hold 2 years of PIN in cash. Add short-term bonds for the next 1 to 3 years. Put equities aside for the later years. Each pool has a job. Cash buys you calm. Bonds smooth the middle. Stocks fuel the long haul. Now organize your accounts by role. Taxable accounts give you flexibility early. Traditional accounts are where you plan conversions. Roth accounts are the tax-free valve you open later. Label them. Think of them as tools in a workshop, each with its place. Plan your withdrawals with rhythm. In down years, draw from cash. In up years, refill the buffer and fund conversions. Keep taxable income in the bands you've chosen. That steady flow is what makes the plan last. Decide on Social Security timing with the plan's support. Sometimes it makes sense to claim early. Other times delaying creates a safer lifelong base. The right answer depends on your PIN and your bridge years. Finally, schedule one annual review. Not a financial review first, but a life-first review. Update the costs of the experiences you care about. Re-rank what matters most. Then rebalance the accounts to support those choices. When you follow these steps, you don't just build a portfolio. You build a blueprint for the life you've already defined. Tactics only work when paired with the right habits. Let's explore those next. Mindset is the foundation. Without it, even the best plan feels shaky. Shift from more to enough for this life. The culture around you screams for bigger balances, bigger houses, bigger goals. But when you define enough based on your own days, you step off the treadmill. Shift from headlines to levers you control. Markets, politics, inflation, they never stop moving. Your levers are simple: how much you spend, how much you keep in cash, how you structure withdrawals. Focus there. Build routines that keep money calm and ordinary. A 5-minute check once a week to see balances, not to obsess. A Sunday planning ritual to look at spending for the week ahead. These tiny habits anchor you when the outside world shakes. Once a month, create a 1-page scorecard. 3 numbers only: your cash buffer, your spending compared to plan, and your progress on experiences that matter. Not portfolio value, not headlines. Just those 3. Remember when the passive path once said money is a bridge to time. This is where it connects. That earlier lesson showed why money matters. Now we revisit it to tie mindset to mechanics. The bridge is stronger when every plank is supported by steady routines. Plans will face storms. The point is not to avoid them. The point is to bend without breaking. That's what comes next. Every plan gets tested. The question is not if, but when. One risk is sequence of returns. If markets drop early in retirement, withdrawals can do more damage than the drop itself. The shield is a cash runway. It lets you cover expenses without selling low. Add dynamic spending rules. Scale back discretionary costs after down years. Loosen after strong ones. A simple ladder of priorities protects the essentials. Another risk is inflation. Prices can spike suddenly. The safeguard is flexibility. Keep a discretionary dial you can turn down, like travel. Use strong market years to refill the buffer so you don't chase rising prices with panic. Health shocks are another test. Medical costs can erase even the best forecasts. A dedicated reserve for health, plus regular checks on your coverage, keeps one crisis from becoming a collapse. Market slumps will happen. The mistake is reacting in panic. With buffers in place, you avoid forced sales. With a spending ladder, you keep control. That's how you ride through storms instead of drowning in them. Resilience doesn't come from predicting the future. It comes from being ready to bend with whatever arrives. Now let's turn this structure into short moves you can make right away. In the next 30 days, draft your top 10 life elements. 5 must-haves, 5 nice-to-haves. Put price ranges next to each. Then calculate your portfolio income need. Add up your spending, subtract predictable income, and write down the gap. That's your number. In the next 60 days, start building your cash buffer. Aim for 2 years of your PIN. Label your accounts by role. Taxable for flexibility, traditional for conversions, Roth for tax-free later. Clarity comes when each account has a clear job. In the next 90 days, write your withdrawal order. Decide what you pull from in good years and what you use in down years. Draft a Roth conversion target band so you know when and how much to convert. With these steps, you move from theory to action, from someday to a plan with deadlines, from anxiety to control. Before we close, here are a few stories to keep your fire lit. A father chose part-time work instead of full-time. The income dipped, but every Friday became his. He spent it with his kids, building memories that outlasted any paycheck. A teacher traded in a luxury car for a simple one. With the difference, she bought a season pass to a local theater. Every month, she watched plays and musicals, laughing with friends. She didn't just save money, she bought joy. A nurse set up a 2-year cash runway. She combined it with slow travel, renting modest homes for months at a time instead of rushing through vacations. Her money stretched further, and her days slowed down enough to breathe. Each of these people made small shifts. None of them waited for the perfect number. They designed their lives, then matched their money to it. You are closer than you think. Let's lock in the lessons that guide the next step. Stop chasing a number that keeps moving. It will never stand still long enough to give you peace. Design your days first. Price them. Then let that life shape the plan. Protect your health span. The years when your body can say yes are worth more than an extra digit on a statement. Structure beats luck. A cash buffer, clear account roles, smart conversions, and a thoughtful withdrawal order give you resilience no matter what markets do. Review once a year through a life-first lens. Are you still funding what matters most? Adjust the plan to match, not the other way around. These are the pillars of freedom. They turn money into mornings you control. If this guide helped you, like this video, subscribe for more lessons, and share it with someone you care about. Comment with one experience you want to fund this year. The passive path is where money becomes time. Explore other videos here to keep building your bridge. Good luck on your journey. See you in the next video.